Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Inside Leatherneck Athletics. I'm your host Dylan Webster, and with me today is the coach of the Western Illinois University baseball team, Mike Villano. Coach, thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you.
All right, now you guys started your season these past couple weeks against Samford and Georgia State. How do you think the team performed against these two programs?
The first weekend, we performed very, very poorly actually. I don't think we were quite ready for the speed of the game. There was there's such a difference between, coming from a junior college, coming from high school to playing Division I baseball, and I think a few of them were a little overwhelmed with the level of play. But that was to be expected when you have, I don't know how many we had, 17, 20 new guys or whatever playing in that series. And, it's kind of one of those things I kind of expected a little bit. I was hoping that they would just, the whole goal is to get a little bit better every day. And that day, I think that the 18-1 loss after we played them, pretty good. We almost came back and beat them in the first game down by 10, down 10-1. The next game we played pretty well. Then all of a sudden they got a little, what I call a taste of humble pie. They got beat up pretty good, and it was kind of good for them to kind of know where they stood and how hard they had to work. I think they actually expected to go in there and to sweep a series, and we're not quite ready for that. We have to just, it's a process. You can't be in too much of a hurry. The next weekend we played Georgia State, and Georgia State's a better team than Samford. They led the nation last year in runs scored. I think they hit almost 360. Really good athletes, everything like that. We actually played very well. Dustin Hunter went out there and he had a no-hitter in the 6th inning. Danny Russell threw great the whole time, and we could have easily won 3 games in that series. We lost a 12-inning game. We lost the game that Dustin had a no-hitter into the 6th, and then we won the final game. So, overall we're getting a little bit better, and hopefully that carries on to next weekend.
All right. And you guys have a very tough schedule to start the season, and coming up you have opponents like Kansas State, Indiana State, Missouri State, and Iowa. Is this tough schedule going to help your team in the long run?
I think so, and the better competition you play, the better that you get. The whole thing is concentrating on your game, not really worrying about who you're playing, but how you're playing. And if we go out there and play the same way this weekend that we did the last game at Georgia State, we'll be right in there with Kansas State, we'll be right in there with Missouri State, Indiana State, and all we have to do is continue to play our game, and I think that we can, we'll start to be able to play with people that some people don't think we are able to.
After losing key players from last year's team, such as Cole Waddell and Jason Summers, who have been the guys to step up and fill those roles?
Yeah, anytime you lose Jason Summers, who we shoot close to 430, the odds are if we had Jason Summers back, for him to duplicate that is something that would be amazing anyway. So, what we have now is we have more arm strength throughout the entire team. We have a little bit better runners. We're still not as fast as I would like to be. Our arm-wise, I'm 100% sure, arm strength and everything like that we matched up well against Samford and Georgia State. Actually, I think we had better overall arms in them. It's just a matter of getting them out there and getting them, on a dirt mound instead of a wood mound and stuff like that. But anytime you lose, guys like that played every single game and stuff like that, it's going to be an adjustment period. But I think in the long run, when you get, continue to get better athletes in here, because athletes win baseball games, athletes can, improve a little bit quicker.
And Darren Russell, your new pitcher, has looked really good on the mound this year. He's already got 1 win. He's pitched 12 innings, has 13 strikeouts, and his ERA is at 3. Are you happy with what he's been doing this year?
Yeah, and even though he's got a 3, he probably shouldn't have that because he can blame Dustin for that because Dustin gave up all his runs against Samford, so he left with a couple guys on, and Dustin gave them all up. But Danny's a competitor, and he didn't have that great a fall. He didn't have that great a winter, but he's one of those rare kids that hopefully he continues to do it. We're going to save the parade a little bit and not go all crazy about Danny yet, but we do know he's going to go out there and compete, and for some reason when someone slapped a different uniform on on someone else on the other team, he performed at a higher level than what we've seen him. But if you look at his numbers throughout his career, junior college and everything like that, he's been fantastic. He's always performed at every single level, and I don't see any reason why he's not going to continue to do that, throughout this year. Him coming in, you know, him not being in the starting rotation as we got here was surprising for us, because when he got here the first day of campus, we expected him to be in the rotation. So he's just kind of pushed himself in where, you know, that's kind of undeniable now.
Are you going to look to keep him in the rotation now?
You know, he's so valuable that he'll probably swing a little bit. I mean, if we have to win a game on Friday or get an inning from him, yeah, you know, I mean, he'll go in that game. But he's also the type of kid that can come back and rebound and actually throw on Sunday too, kind of like he did the other day.
All right, now something that your program's been doing this year, you've teamed up with College Baseball Daily, and players and coaches are writing journals once every, I think, week, it seems like. Can you explain what that's doing for your program? I
mean, any type of exposure is good, and, you know, we have to, you know, to change the culture of a program, you know, you do have to, you know, you have to put forth a little bit more energy and show the excitement and stuff like that. Coach Coryell's got a good relationship with the guy over at College Baseball Daily, and they've kind of talked a little bit. And no, it's good. It's good for the kids to continue to you know, stay involved and stay upbeat and stuff like that. So any type of exposure is good exposure.
All right, and finally, with the journals, I've been noticing some purple quotes in there. And can you explain what a purple quote is, and can you give us one?
You know, the purple quotes, they started, I wasn't all that much of a purple guy. When I got here, I didn't know exactly my skin tone and stuff like that, how it was going to look in purple. But, you know, it's kind of one of those things where you have to either, you know, you just kind of embrace it and accept it, and you have a common theme, like everything that you're doing is for, you know, for a certain reason. So, you know, like we have a quote every single day at the top of our practice plan when I send them out, you know, and it's, I mean, how many days have we been practicing now? So we've had a purple quote. So I mean, to ask for one of them is kind of tough because we've sent about 90 of them out. But you know, you have the ones like Brian Jordan put in the College Baseball Daily, which is one of my favorite. If you want to be happy for a year, plant a garden. If you want to be happy for life, wear purple. You know, for me, if you embrace purple, you'll rule the world. So.
All right, well, thank you for coming on, Coach. We appreciate you stopping by.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us today on Inside Leatherneck Athletics. Have a good day, and let's go Necks.